Hello students, Ibn Battuta and excitement of the unfamiliar. By the time Ibn Battuta arrived in Delhi in 14th century, subcontinent was part of a global network of communication and stretched from China in the east to northwest Africa and Europe to west. तो इबन बतूता जब भारत में 14th सेंचुरी में भारत चाइना अफ्रीका और यूरोप तक कनेक्टेड था कम्युनिकेशन के द्वारा. As we have seen, Ibn Battuta himself traveled extensively through these lands, visiting sacred shrines, spending time with learned men and rulers, often officiating as Qazi in Delhi at the time of the Muhammad bin Tughlaq, enjoying the cosmopolitan culture of the urban centers where people who spoke Arabic, Persian, Turkish, and other languages shared ideas, information, and anecdotes. These included stories about men noted for their piety kings who could be both cruel and generous, about the lives of the ordinary men and women. Anything that was unfamiliar was particularly highlighted in order to ensure that the listeners or the reader was suitably impressed by accounts of the distant yet accessible worlds. So we can see coconuts and palm detail. Some of the best example of Ibn Battuta strategy of representations are evident in the way in which he described the coconut and palm, two kind of the plant produce that were completely unfamiliar to his audience. उन्होंने पान और कोकोनट की डिटेल दी, दोनों की एक जैसी साइज उन्होंने मानी है. नट्स लाइक ए मैन्स हेड, कोकोनट को उन्होंने मैन के हेड के समान बताया. These trees are among the most peculiar tree in kind and most astonishing in habits. They look exactly like date palms without any difference between them, except that the one produces nuts as its fruits and the other produce dates. तो इन्होंने खजूर से इसकी पान की तुलना की है, डेट पाम से कोकोनट की. द नट ऑफ ए कोकोनट ट्री रिजेंबल्स ए मैन्स हेड, उन्होंने कहा कि कोकोनट का जो ट्री का जो प्रोडक्शन है भारत में बहुत ज़्यादा है और कोकोनट के जो सेफ है वो मैन हेड के समान है. फॉर इन इट आर वाट्स लुक लाइक टू आइज एंड ए माउथ and inside of it when it is green looks like the brain. Attached to it is a fiber which looks like hair. They make from this cord with which they sew of ship instead of iron nails, and they make from it cables for vessels. तो ये उन्होंने डिटेल स्टडी की इन्होंने कोकोनट की. ये पान के बारे में बता रहे हैं. द बीटल इज ए ट्री विच इज कल्टिवेटेड इन सम मैनर एज द ग्रेप वाइन. ग्रेप वाइन की तरह इसकी खेती बताई उन्होंने, कल्टिवेशन बताई है. द बीटल हैज़ नो फ्रूट एंड इन ग्रोन ओनली फॉर द सेक ऑफ इट्स लीव्स. द मैनर ऑफ इट्स यूज इज दैट बिफोर ईटिंग इट वन टेक्स acrinut. This is like a nutmeg, but it broken up until it is reduced to small pellets, and one places these in his mouth and chew them. Then he takes the leaves of betel, puts a little chalk on them, and masticates them along with the betel. So this is the detail of the pan. Ibn Battuta and Indian cities. Ibn Battuta tells us about exciting opportunity for those who had the necessary drive, resources and skills. They were densely populated. Cities were densely populated and prosperous except for the occasional disruptions caused by wars and invasions. It appears from Ibn Battuta's account that most cities had crowded streets and bright and colored markets. that were stacked with a wide variety of goods. Ibn Battuta described Delhi as a vast city with a great population, the largest in India. Daulatabad in Maharashtra was no less and easily rivaled Delhi in size. तो दौलताबाद और दिल्ली को बड़े शहर माना है. ये दौलताबाद है महाराष्ट्र का. Ibn Battuta and Indian cities. Bazaars were not only places of the economic transactions but also hub of the social and cultural activities. Most bazaars had a mosque and a temple, and in some of them at least spaces were marked for public performance by dancers, musicians and singers. बाज़ारों में डांसर्स, म्यूजिशियन और सिंगर्स भी होते थे. While Ibn Battuta was not particularly concerned with explaining the prosperity of towns, historians have used this account to suggest that the towns derived a significant portion of their wealth through the appropriation of the surplus from villages. Ibn Battuta found Indian agriculture very productive because of the fertility of the soil, which allowed farmers to cultivate 2 crops a year. He also noted the subcontinent was well integrated with Inter-Asian network of trade and commerce, with Indian manufactures being in great demand in both West Asia and Southeast Asia, fetching huge profit for artisans and merchants. Indian textile, particularly cotton cloth, fine muslin, silk, brocade and satin were in great demand. Ibn Battuta informed us that a certain variety of the fine muslin were also expensive, that they could be worn only by the nobles and by very rich people. So उन्होंने बताया कि भारत की वस्तुओं की वेस्ट एशिया, साउथ ईस्ट एशिया में बड़ी डिमांड है, जिससे भारतीय आर्टिसन और मर्चेंट्स को बहुत बड़ा प्रॉफिट मिलता है. भारत का एशियन नेटवर्क से, एशियन कंट्रीज से ट्रेड और कॉमर्शियल नेटवर्क वेल डेवलप्ड था. इंडियन टेक्सटाइल, हमारे जो कॉटन क्लॉथ हैं, मुस्लिन है, सिल्क है, ब्रोकेड है, सैटिन है, इनकी बहुत बड़ी साउथ ईस्ट और वेस्ट एशिया में डिमांड थी, उनसे व्यापार होता था. और फाइन मुस्लिन की बहुत बड़ी डिमांड थी और रिच लोग इसको, नोबल लोग इसको पहना करते थे. सो दिस इज डिस्क्रिप्शन अबाउट द सिटीज. थैंक यू.